and you sort of talk through, obviously the beginning of the book is a lot about Brian's story, which is him growing through the powerlifting ranks, if you will, and working up through, and then he sort of talks about the demise of his back, and you get to chapter 4, which the image of his spine absolutely fascinates me. With the one with the disc bulge, the crushed vertebrae at L5, the bone edema, and the massive sacrum fracture. I guess a couple of questions on this is, I think I know the answer to this one, but first, was he lifting with all of that injury? And then, how does one, as an athlete, get to that point where their back is in that much trouble, or in that much disarray, or destruction's happened there? Is it a case of it just happens slowly over time, or was there a big event that happened? What kind of goes on? I would imagine it's more to do with the specific of Brian being who he was and what he was doing. But how does that sort of injury and image come about?
Yeah, I can't give you an answer and state for sure what the mechanism was, because truly no one knows. And, you know, I get asked as an expert witness in legal cases, can I come in and say this alleged event or negligence of a person or a product led to this specific tissue damage? All I can say to the court, for example, is this is the mechanism for compression damage, and this is the compression damage or shear damage or bending damage or whatever it happens to be. So the split vertebra is a compressive injury. Basically, when you look at all of those, they were compression primarily, and then bending stresses on top of the compressive damage really compounded. So that's what the biology would show us in all of those injuries. But in Brian's specific case, he says he slipped and fell and pile drived his back running an obstacle course a number of years ago. And he said that was really the beginning of the pain. So we don't know exactly what went on at that time. There was no imaging to show, or he had no assessment. But there's no question that as he continued to lift, the tissue deterioration continued. But here's the amazing thing about the body. If you understand tissue adaptation and stability and how stiffness holds all these body parts together, you can get away with tremendous losses in structure. You know, you see some people who are completely ACL deficient. They've lost the cruciate ligament of their knee, and you wouldn't know it because of the muscular stiffness that they've been able to create with the appropriate pattern. Well, successful people do the same things with their back and organizing how they activate all of their muscles and that kind of thing. So power lifters, they even enhance their inherent muscular stiffness by wearing tight suits and weight belts and these various pieces of gear. That's all part of this stability rubric and stiffness rubric that we're talking about. But anyway, that damage did accumulate, and it got to the point where he was in continual pain all the time. And when he came to see me the first time, here was a man who had squatted well over 1,000 pounds, but had difficulty reaching forward and picking up a piece of paper.